Vamos lá então. Mano, tá. Sabemos então que a gente não pode descer as escadas de novo.
Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes,
Não vamos descer, que senão... Vamos pra direita. Eu vou... Vamos seguir o caminho aqui agora. E passar pelaquela ponte.
Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Não vou pra esquerda. Quer dizer,
And so he
tem botão aqui, né?
Walked straight ahead to the opposite door and got back on track.
Tem um botão tipo muito suspeito, né? Um elevador aqui bem... Muse.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
E se eu for pro outro lado? Tá fechado, né?
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Decida-se, cara. Quer ver ele vai fechar de novo?
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on?
É reto, né? Pode falar, cara.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Tem um caminhão ali. Ah, é aqui que chega!
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay.
Fecha os olhos.
We just have to get back to,
Já era.
Who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about,
Ó, a barra tá certinha ali, ó. Quase que a gente não consegue ver.
We'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Ele me mandou pro lugar errado e aí me começou... Oh my
All of his
Deus.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
Eu
memo.
vou lá de novo pra ver se ele vai mudar alguma coisa. Meu Deus, exatamente, meu Deus, velho.
When Stanley... Wait,
Ué.
what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Tá, agora tem 6 portas pra ir, mano. Se 50, né? Se 2 portas já era difícil, agora com 6. Tá, eu vou para... direita? A gente pode andar meio que livremente, talvez?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Mas que inferno!
All of his co-workers were gone.
Lá vamos nós. Qual vai ser a diferença dessa
Stanley
vez?
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Não tem porta agora. Não tem porta. Oh no.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Voltar. Tem uma porta aqui pra direita. Será que a gente vai? Ó, tem a porta aberta ali do outro lado.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Corredor infinito.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Mas, meu Deus, cara, você não sabe o caminho? Você é o narrador, você devia saber tudo. Mudou já. Agora então no jogo de terror, né?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Ganhamos!
A lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job. Oh no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
E lá vamos nós reiniciar mais uma vez. Meu Deus! A linha. Tá. The Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
To make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Ué, aqui a gente não podia seguir? Os caras jogando paciência. Mano, totalmente The Office isso. Os caras sempre tem alguém jogando paciência naquela série, velho. Muito bom.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being by the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Susto, véi. Alto, hein? Tá doido. Vai ficar alto mesmo assim? Tá muito alto. Que isso, também não sei. Calma aí, eu consigo abaixar um pouquinho. Baixa um pouco o volume da música, por favor. Alto pra caramba. Vamos lá, a aventura nos aguarda, não é mesmo? Pera, tá andando... Não tá. Por um momento eu achei que a gente tava andando em círculos. Essa linha. Ó o filme de terror, vindo. Pera, a gente vai passar aqui, aparentemente vai, né? Tem uma linha. Ou não. Ué, calma. Como é que... Eu tô perdido. Como é que a gente veio parar aqui? Ué...
Wait, cut the music.
Obrigado.
Go back and look at that fern.
Nossa senhora, que música alta. Você nunca baixou One Piece, não. Então, mano. Eu tomei mó susto. Do nada a música alta pra caramba. E até abaixei agora, a próxima vez.
We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Linha TM. Por que tem o TM na palavra linha? Trademarked. De novo!
No, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you.
Eu não vi essa outra aqui. É o mesmo?
Well, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Oh, caramba. E lá vamos nós mais uma vez pra linha.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Agora é o narrador que não quer mais seguir a história. Tá bom. Mano, que doideira.
Yes, this is exciting.
Estamos na backroom agora.
Forging a new
Nos
path,
bequinhos.
a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Calma aí. Se a gente fazer o caminho de volta, a gente volta mesmo? Ok. É sobre isso. A gente volta mesmo, a gente dá um giro aqui. É tão sutil, velho, que eu nem percebo a mudança, né? A ideia é essa, né? Não perceber.
Oh, no, not
Oh,
you again.
no.
Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Que as palavras estão com TM do lado, velho. Lá vamos nós seguir a linha de novo. Mano, quem que fez isso? Essa linha tá toda torta. Aqui onde tava a cadeira, não era não? Tá, ela volta a subir ali. A gente não consegue chegar lá em cima.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay.
Que?
So I know that
É pra gente andar em círculo? Eu não vou ficar obedecendo o narrador.
Somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Porta da direita é o certo? Mas se eu quiser ir pra esquerda, não posso? Não? Não, né? The Confusion Ending. Você está jogando o final confuso por 17 minutos quase.
Confusion ending? You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game eight times? That's really how all this goes?
Calma, onde que a gente tá?
Determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide?
Aí ele reinicia o jogo, descobre as duas portas, agora tem portas adicionais. Aí ele restarta o jogo.
I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the time return stopped.
Meu Deus.
Does that mean did we do it? Did we break the cycle?
Find the light again, find the confusion and the schedule, e tá aqui ó, nesse meio.
Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
Você vai ter que reiniciar, cara. Aqui não tem muito o que fazer, tá preso.
Okay.
Aí tem os spoilers do que vai acontecer.
Just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
Nossa senhora. Então, né? A gente ainda tá no final confuso ainda? Agora eu já não sei mais.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Mano, parece que voltamos agora. Agora reiniciou mesmo e não acabou.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
mas falta o reset ainda. Eu estou confuso.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
A linha. A linha. Oh, no.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Tá, eu vou seguir reto agora e eu não vou pular do elevador aqui. Eu vou seguir e vamos ver o que acontece lá na frente. Eu posso tentar pular também pra ver o que acontece, né?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot.
Depois eu pulo.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Número 2.
Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Ela quem?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Que isso, virou uma história de amor agora?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
Tá,
to
é
reach
ela.
out to her.
Você
If you can
precisa
truly
fazer
place
isso.
your
Por que aquele
faith
jeito não
in
tá aparecendo?
another, then pick up the phone.
Tem o número 1, boa pergunta. 427. É o final do apartamento.
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Por que não tem legenda?
All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Meu Deus do céu, que medo.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife?
Eu tô andando pra frente,
They want to
impressão
commit
minha.
their life to you. I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley.
Ele tá andando pra frente
I'm trying to get you
sozinho.
to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Mano, a gente entra, a gente sai, a gente pode ir embora também, tem opção. Eu vou fazer... Vamos entrar. Depois a gente sai.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
A morte... Pera, que? Bom dia, funcionário 427, aperte V no seu teclado. Como assim essa história da morte do funcionário chamado Stanley?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Meu Deus, eu tô virando o Stanley, né? Por favor, aperte X.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Aperte B.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Aperte H para assistir TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job.
Tá mudando agora
First,
que
he
eu vi.
imagined that one day while at work,
Oh, no.
he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Por favor, aperte 6 para passar o tempo com amigos.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either.
Ah lá,
At
as coisas.
last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Partir para preparar o jantar.
As he wandered through this fantasy
world,
he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions.
A linha de
and
novo.
Down another was a game with a baby.
O jogo do bebê.
The Stanley Parable.
Tá contando uma história aos seus filhos.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Aperte B para dizer à sua esposa que você a ama.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Aperte K para ir dormir, mano. Que botões aleatórios.
That in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Mas eu vou estar ouvindo você. Aperte 8.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Para não questionar nada. Não, vou deixar agora. Sem apertar o F. Será que funciona? Alô? Eu acho que vou ter que apertar o F. Então vamos apertar o F, né?
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Por favor, morra. Que isso?
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Morremos? O que aconteceu, mano? Que medo esse final. Nossa senhora. Tá, eu vou tentar fazer de novo esse final, mas no caso eu não vou entrar, né, no apartamento, eu vou tentar sair. Não, tchau.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
You can jump. Oh, fiz uma conquista. Ah, meu Deus, podemos preso de novo. Mano, eu vou reiniciar então, né? E eu vou aproveitar pra ver se tem mais final pra gente fazer, que eu acho que a gente talvez tenha feito todo já. Não sei. Acho que eu teria que reiniciar, hein, pra ligar o negócio. Tinha o FOV o tempo todo, meu Deus do céu. E eu jogando sem o FOV. Nossa, a diferença que fez agora. Tá até estranho, pra falar a verdade. Rapidão. Fazer esse final. Aí você vem aqui. SV. Shits. Lá.
Stanley, this is me being serious. In fact, this is my serious room. It's where I come to be serious. That table is the most serious table I could find. I looked at many tables, hundreds of tables. It's possible I looked at over 1,000 tables. I honestly don't know. The specific number isn't as important as the understanding that of all tables I looked at, this one is the most serious. I relate this story to impress upon you the extent to which this is the most serious room I have, which is why I brought you here. You just tried to activate server cheats, which of course runs the risk of breaking the entire game. You've got no respect for the strict order of scripted narrative events, and I just can't have that. It's time to get serious, Stanley. No jokes, no games. Outside of this room, I might be more tolerant of those things, but now we're in the room. Which is why I'm subjecting you to the most serious punishment I can think of. 100 billion trillion years standing here in the serious room.
Okay.
Perhaps after that, we can talk about the severity of your actions and whether you've learned anything. But until then, serious room, Go.
A sala séria, a gente vai ficar aqui por milhares de anos. Tá, e eu lembro de ter visto que a gente pode usar o... Agora a gente pode ativar, né, como a gente ativou cheats, a gente pode dar um... No clip, talvez? Deixa eu ver. Se vê, cheats. Ele desligou. A gente tem que sair, né?
Did we not have the talk? Are we not in the serious room this very moment? Did I not tell you how many tables I looked through? I'm going to be conservative and say it was somewhere in the tens of thousands of tables. Any reasonable person would say I spent an absurd amount of time doing nothing but looking at tables, and I genuinely considered each one too. I took a hell of a lot of notes. I kept the notes in a different room. That room is less serious than this one. It's more of a notes room. Again, the point of this story is to convey how serious I feel this cheating issue is. And I'm sure you'll agree with me once you've fulfilled your new punishment. Infinity years in the serious room. I generally have trouble reading human emotions, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you're devastated by this crippling new punishment. As well you should be. It's the most serious I could think of. Can you get more serious than that? No, you can't. Don't try.
E lá vamos nós de novo. Pela terceira vez. E tem quarta vez, né, pra fazer.
The problem is clearly the serious room. It isn't serious enough. That's on me, Stanley. I apologize.
Mano, como esses caras fizeram um final baseado com você usando cheats.
One that conveys how wrong what you're doing is. Now, where did I put those notes?
Acabou? Mas vamos nós de novo. Alô? E aí, ele não fala mais nada agora? E eu acho que agora acabou, hein? Eu acho que agora foi. 419.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Awaiting input. Aí deu o negócio. A gente restarta. Então acho que é isso. A gente vai ter que encontrar vários computadores. Mano, genial!
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Era uma mensagem gravada, né, por a gente mesmo, falando que o quão perigoso é mensagens gravadas. Tipo, que... Tá, onde que tá o próximo agora? Tá, eles vão estar sempre nessa sala aqui? Nenhuma no começo? Aí a gente reinicia. Agora é no 424, esse daqui do lado, né? 434 no caso. Meu Deus, não consigo apertar. Ah lá, tá tudo diferente, meu Deus. Input received. Ok. Por que tava cheio de papel no chão? Bem-vindo, Stanley, ao céu. Meu Deus, a gente morreu. Meu Deus do céu. Tá, e o que a gente faz nesse final? A gente só aperta botão? Ah, os botões estão se desapertando aparentemente, né? Então nem adianta a gente ficar apertando que uma hora eles voltam. Não é? Ah lá. É. Bom, eu acho que então fechamos mais um final aí. Que final foi esse? Não sei. Só seguir ordens, né? Do que como chegar nesse final. Basicamente. E será que aquele monte de papel no chão fazia... Mano, acho que era algum final que tinha acontecido com aquele monte de papel no chão. A chuva também acho que era um dos finais.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Face punch. Onde que digita face punch? Meu Deus, que susto, velho. É só fazer... Agora é só seguir o caminho com essas texturas esquisitas? Mano, que medo. Dá outro ar, né, pra história isso.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Tá, a gente pode fazer qualquer outro final com isso daqui. Acho que é só a textura mesmo que tá diferente, né? O resto não vai mudar.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Meu Deus do céu.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Tá, você já está cansado dessa brincadeira? Sim?
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like, right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
E lá vamos nós de música de novo.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible.
Nossa,
and if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes. You too will become quite unbearable.
Acabou. Ou não. É isso só então? Calma aí, deixa eu ver. Tá, eu acho que agora eu tenho que reiniciar. Lá vamos nós. Eita! Ué, calma. Mudou. Que final é esse? O corredor virou um corredor aqui do nada. Tá, mano, vamos olhar o que tem aqui, né? Já foi direto pras perguntas. Mano, o que?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Deixa eu aproveitar para fazer o final que a gente pula.
And Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Tá, não tá diferente não, já tava meio confuso já.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Não vou não. Eu vou me jogar
Stanley was
daqui.
so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Oh no.
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Ok. Fizemos o final em que a gente morre de queda, basicamente.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Eu não consigo subir aqui. Por que eu não consigo pular a janela dessa vez? Eles bloquearam. Eu queria responder não dessa vez. Não.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Não. Tá, ele não vai falar, né? A gente tem que falar assim. Ou não. É isso aí, acabou. Ele não vai falar mais nada sobre isso. Reinicia. Deixa eu fazer o final que eu fico preso, né? Que eu me escondo. Pronto.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Veio aí. Veio aí. O reset. Tá. De novo, não tem...
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
Pior que eu não lembro mesmo. Tá. A gente vai precisar ou o escritório ficar azul ou com aquele monte de papel lá também. Talvez a chuva tenha alguma coisa também, né? Vamos ver outro final.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Eu quase fiz o final sem querer, né?
Of disbelief, Stanley decided to go. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
A gente deixou ele falar umas duas vezes o narrador, né?
No path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
É isso aí, vamos ficar aqui parado agora esperando algo acontecer.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused. You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this
XD. É sobre isso, o final de uma série veio mais da hora.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That all with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Que isso? Agora ele tá começando a querer difamar o Stanley, é isso mesmo?
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
É isso aí? Acabou? Ou a gente realmente vai morrer ou vai acabar, né? Vai dar um loop.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board.
Second player, só mesmo ainda.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ali, talvez. Como é que a gente faz o final? Calma aí. Tá, ele vai começar a falar as coisas, a gente tem que sair, entrar e sair.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Qual é?
Shocked,
Meu Deus, mas mudou tudo.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
O The Whiteboard Ending. Ah, agora sim. É isso aí? É só isso? Console Bark? Tem que digitar Bark no console? É isso só? Susto! Nem que latinha um cachorro mesmo. Ah, o E. Nossa, ficou alto, hein? O E virou... virou um latido. Parou de... Não parou não, meu Deus do céu.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Acabou? Tá bom.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping in...
Conseguimos, é isso? Ou não? Falou que as portas atrás ia estar abertas. I've got the feeling. Eu tenho sentimento. O roubo do... Roubar por dinheiro. Mas... É o quê? Meu Deus. Mas pior que o narrador até parou de falar, né? Ele tava falando ali, ele parou e viu que a gente não tava na sala. Aqui. Mano, quem que ia imaginar um negócio desse? Abriu até um negócio do console aqui. You are now leaving. Você está agora saindo. Escape Pod Bay. Andar 760. Ah, aqui é a janela lá do... Meu Deus, toda hora. É a janela lá do escritório do Stanley, praticamente, né? Eu tenho que ir até os 760 pra chegar no escape pod. Vai ser um longo caminho. E tá escuro, hein? A gente não pode pegar elevador, não? Sete. Mano, daqui é muito SCP, né? Só que no caso a gente tá subindo, né? SCP a gente desce. 8. 9. E agora 60. Escape Pod Launch Bay. Escape. Tem alguma coisa ali no fundo. É isso? Tem que fechar, mano. Daqui toda hora vai ficar aparecendo. Acabou. Foi só isso. Não aconteceu nada. Vamos ver. Hora de desligar o telefone.
To put your work aside,
ainda tá o
to let
cachorro.
her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You... Oh, no, you can't... Did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Oh, finalmente, hein?
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice.
Escolha.
It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, it can also be the most dangerous. For example, In this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Prática.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
O que tá acontecendo nessa sala? Tá bom, vamos sair então. A gente vai conseguir voltar agora sem morrer? Ó, tem até pra não pular, hein?
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
E daqui também pra gente não quebrar o jogo, né? Que se a gente entrasse pra lá, a gente ia fazer outro final que tá dentro de um final já. Nossa, ia ser uma bagunça, velho. Mas e aí, acabou? Voltou? É só voltar agora? Parece que é só voltar.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Você vai entrar pela porta da esquerda e volta de volta... Pera, ué. Ah, tá. Você vai estar voltando aqui, sério?
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
A gente não vai entrar na esquerda de novo, né? Deixa eu ver. Vamos para a direita, obviamente. Vamos não seguir de novo.
No! Why did you do that?
Meu Deus.
Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Mano, tá tudo quebrado as coisas aqui. Caramba, esse latido. Tá, é pra voltar mesmo? Se eu seguir de novo, ele vai estar bugado ainda, né? Tá, a gente vai ter que seguir pela esquerda, então. E aí a gente vai ter que seguir nosso caminho normal. Agora a gente... Tudo faz parte do final, hein? Aparentemente. Meu Deus do céu.
It's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Meu Deus. Nossa, ficou uma luz ali no corredor. Tá. Então a gente indo pela direita e depois indo pra esquerda deu ruim. Deu muito ruim, por sinal.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story.
Quebramos a história dele.
If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious.
Isso,
it would have been so
tudo.
perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Tá, se eu entrar na direita vai voltar de novo, né? Vai acontecer aquilo lá, a gente vai tudo quebrado. Vamos seguir agora pra esquerda, então. Agora sim a gente segue da história, né? Agora não vai estar quebrado, eu acho, as coisas. Não, dessa vez não.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
A gente não pode
Coming
nem
to a
descer.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ele tá obrigando a gente a fazer tudo agora, tipo... Não siga nenhum caminho além do que a gente queira que você siga. Pensei que foi aqui, mano. Realista nesse latido. Que isso? Tá diferente. Muito diferente.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
David me disse no código. Eu tenho que digitar mesmo? Night Shark 115. Tem que falar inglês, né? Não sei.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115.
Night Shark 115.
Right there on the wall.
Eu tenho que falar mesmo? Estou confuso.
I'm sorry, is there a problem?
Sim.
You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Tem que digitar, sei lá, Night... Esqueci agora.
Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward.
Meu Deus.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ué?
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay?
Nossa, imagina ele tá sendo observado o tempo todo, né?
I need you to make a choice.
O final.
I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to
Obrigado
me?
por jogar Stanley Parable. Calma.
Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important.
Os créditos subindo. Ué, pior que da outra vez não deu crédito não, hein?
It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
E aí agora a máquina não tá fazendo nada, né? Porque ela não tem capacidade de escolher, ou sei lá. Nem tá se mexendo. Ok, mais um final feito. Era isso mesmo só que tinha que acontecer? Tá, agora a gente pula nesse andaime. Aí vai ter aquele negócio lá da porta direita e porta esquerda.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm
agora a gente vai
on your side.
pra saída da direita, então. Oh, vermelha.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
A gente tem 3 chances, né? Tipo, essa primeira, depois tem a segunda e tem aquela terceira. Eu vou fazer de novo daqui que eu achei engraçado.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Aí ele vai tirar a porta azul.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Tá bom, vamos pra porta da vermelha.
God, you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I want it to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Meu Deus. Ok, vamos entrar então, né? O final, o espaço, pelo que eu vi.
What do we want? What are
É uma
we
nave
looking
isso?
for?
Meu Deus.
Here, yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Nossa senhora, muito azul.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Sumiu, né? A porta que a gente veio. Tá, não é pra gente vir pra cá, não? Meu Deus, que lugar, hein?
Oh no! Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Não, fica tranquilo, a gente não vai se machucar. É só uma escada.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Tá, não é exatamente só uma escada. A gente tem que pular mesmo?
No!
Ai, meu Deus do céu.
Thank God, you lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, Can we please get back to the other room?
Mano, mas se quebrou todo, né? Essa queda aqui, meu Deus do céu. Se voltar, acontece alguma coisa? Ou a gente tem que realmente ficar pulando ali da escada? Meu Deus, tá... bonito o negócio aqui, hein?
There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
Tá, mas acho que daqui não vai acontecer nada, né? A gente tem que ir até o... a gente tem que pular.
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this. No. No, no. What do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Quase isso, cara.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Nossa, ele desviou já e cortou toda a conversa. Mas isso aí... a gente tinha a opção de ficar esperando lá no negócio do espaço? É isso aí então. Acho que agora a gente fez todos os finais. Além daquele... eu não vou fazer aquele lá de ficar 4 horas naquele jogo lá, nem que me pague. Mentira. Se me pagarem assim, né? 1 milhão eu faço. Mas como não estão me pagando, eu não vou fazer. Mas é isso então. Terminamos aí o The Stanley Parable. Fizemos praticamente todos os finais que tem no jogo. E é isso aí. Eu vou salvar o jogo de novo aqui. Não sei se vai, né? Pra que eu vou salvar, mas é isso aí.